Hey everyone, we got two Gundam Converges today. So this first one, I ordered two, a red and a black version, but I ended up getting two black versions. So now this is my third one. So I'm not going to talk about this robot at all. All I can tell you is it's number 64 in the Converge series. It's the Rick Dias, or DS, and it's chassis RMS 099. Here's some other robots from the Wave. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you what wave it is. It's got to be under 20 though. Alright, so let's just get into this. You can just look up Rick Dias or Gundam's Converge 64 and you'll find a review of the black one. Let me get some scissors. So, the first 20 waves of Converges have these silly foot stands, these clear pieces of plastic. They cover up a lot of the toy, and then the yellow as well, and they're not labeled as to what robot they belong to. So it's probably some of the worst toy design in history. The robot stands as it is, but they decided to give you all this dumb plastic that blocks all, like, so much of the robot, right? It's just so silly. Why wouldn't they just give you an extra weapon instead? Okay, well, looking at this thing though, it does look pretty nice. In particular, this is probably the largest optic I've seen in the Converge lineup as far as the normal size figures go. It's just a huge optic, and then you can see this molded detail behind that. See the surface I'm touching? So there's detail well beyond back there, and that's cool. This head does come off, but it won't spin because these shoulders are too high. But you can see that clear piece of plastic in there. Yeah, so it's very neat. Okay, alright, yeah, I'm mistaken. I guess you can rotate it like a very tiny amount, a few degrees. And then I also like these early waves because they have the chassis number in the mold itself. So for some reason the newest ones don't seem to have the chassis number molded in. Alright, so we have a peg system for the arm, and then unfortunately it doesn't want to go in. It's weird. It's like, see that gap? It's really bad. I might have to take a drill to that hole. Or, no, I guess if you just push it in enough, it will pop in there. So, decent, standard molded details there. The back of the head's got some of these hoses here, but no color. And then for some reason it has a bookshelf here for a backpack. Maybe the weapon rests there. I do see peg holes there, so... Oh, I see. We'll get to the accessories later. Let's finish the rest. There's some thrusters here, bottom of the feet look decent enough. So it's like a red, a medium gray, and a dark brown color scheme. The hands are just molded into the arms, so not much articulation, but good paint apps, pretty cool. Alright, so there is a hole here for this hand, so if you want you can pop in this bazooka. It's a really thin bazooka though, and there's no actual indication that there's a projectile able to come out of this thing, because it's totally flat, you know? So that weapon's kind of weak. Yeah, that might be one of the weakest weapons. So now we have these, I don't know what they are, thrusters? I like that it's molded in AEUG. Decent enough details there. I don't know if it's supposed to, I think, pose up or down, but the fact that it's a round peg and hole will let you choose however you feel fit. Although the text, they're identical. So this side it reads correctly, but this side the text will always be upside down. They didn't mold a left and a right. It's just one casting. But in space, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. I think it looks better with them up. Although with the bazooka, maybe not. Taking the bazooka out. Hold on. It looks like these are like pistols, right? Two identical pistols. And you can actually pop that in here if you want. It's really small. The other side doesn't have such an accommodation. But I see these holes here in the backpack, so I think this is where they're supposed to hang out. Yeah, okay. So let's pop that in there. This thing's in the way. really tight fit. This one here. You gotta wiggle it in. Okay, I think I got it in. Put this back on. Alright, so that's kind of neat, I think. It has the storage for the things. This backpack, it seems crooked. Or maybe the head is crooked. Well, it looks like it's canted this clockwise, right? But it's the same, it's just molded into the torso, so I can't shift it. It's just a bent body, I think. I guess if you really wanted to, you could put the thing in hot water and bend it back, but I'm not going to bother. So in this case, I think I am going to have to display it with this lame bazooka. I guess I don't have to, but I like the pistols back in that thing. Alright, so that's a lot longer than I thought I'd be talking about that one. This is the star of today's show because it literally is a current animation show. It's in season 2. It's on YouTube for free. You can look up Gundam Fandom or just look up The Witch of Mercury and you'll find it. And this is a star of that TV show, Gundam Ariel. So this is Fandom saying a little bit about it. In particular here, if you want to pause on this text. Sorry. Let me focus there. There you go. Alright, now in the overall Converge lineup, this is number 278. Web instruction. What is that all about? I don't know if there's instructions to put this together. It's such a simple thing. I don't know. So it came out just last year. And then here's some basic stats. 18 meters, 43 tons. And in this wave, we have these other robots here. And the wave is 10th anniversary selection number 3. Okay. So this gum I will chew on later. It's gonna last like, the flavor lasts like 2 minutes. Alright, so now we have the proper logical foot stands where it's a peg and a square base, or a rectangular base. I think this is the only Converge figure from this TV show, but I'm pretty sure they're going to come out with all of them later on. So here's a stand that makes sense, right? And there's a peg hole in the bottom, but we don't need to show that right now. So it looks like some parts are falling apart, but let's just start with the torso. Bottom of the feet, decent enough details. Nice yellow here in the knees. Nice molded details in general. Like it's really deep, you know, this knee socket. There's holes here. Something's gonna go there, I guess. This is PVC, very flexible, very nice. Unfortunately, you know, in the TV show, these are lit up with a cool digital pattern, and they didn't print any of that on here. I'm gonna guess they're gonna release this model at least 5 more times. Right now, these are really pricey because the show is actively occurring. But I know they're gonna redo this mold, you know, with better color patterns, and one of them will be this thing printed properly. But I wanted to, you know, get this because I've been watching the show. I like the show. It's really good. Just trying to see. Yep, that does come off. Pretty plain. Okay, so that is that. Let's get some arms on this guy. So we have a gunmetal hand, and that's a separate piece, I think. I think these more modern ones, yeah, the hands are separate, pegs. There's a hole in that as well, and there's also a hole on the outside of the shoulder. So stuff will go into that. This side here, same thing, same holes. This hand though can hold a weapon, as you can see. There's a peg hole back in this backpack. I think they're future-proofing a lot of stuff here. Alright, so these are handles for the beam sabers, I'm guessing, and they were in here already. I think those are going to fall out very easily and get lost. I would recommend gluing those in place later. Yeah. So this antennae already has fallen out. So I recommend gluing this in place later. Alright, so this antennae pops in here as well. side one fell out again. It's interesting. These are different. Or maybe they're put in backwards. Or maybe I got two identical right side antennae. That's what happened. They didn't give me a left, the other side. These two antennae here are identical. So that's kind of, that stinks. Or maybe I'm wrong, but that's the impression I'm getting. I think there should be a different molded antennae. So that's too bad. I'm really let down. This was expensive. I paid a very inflated price for this, and it's not even right. Alright, no paint in that recess back there. The eyes, though, are nice and translucent green. That's cool. Some silver back behind the eyes. Some yellow detail there, red there. And let's pop that on now. So the head doesn't seem to collide with anything, so you can get some left-right articulation. Okay. So the shield thing, does this transform? Wow, I think it does. There's a lot of peg holes again. I think they're future-proofing for some other armor pieces that'll come out later. It looks like there's a bigger hole here than there, so there's a left and right, but it looks like just based on the pegs. Yeah, you can actually transform this shield a little bit. It might be easier to take it apart first, but okay. So what I'm thinking is the reason why this is on a peg is they might have a clear display stand where all these pieces are floating around the character. That's what happens at the cartoons. I should probably remove this. Although I don't have the image of it. A lot of these parts can float. They're like remote controlled armor bits. So that's what I'm thinking they're doing here, future proofing for a later version. I'm not sure if I put those pieces in correctly. Maybe this one goes on this side because they're mirrored L's. No, there's no way this can go into that side. No, it has to be this way. So the yellow is towards the outside. So anyways, with enough time and patience, you can configure this in different ways, but I think I'll just return it back to stock. Like that. It's got gunmetal in there, the blue, the white, so that's nice. Yeah, there's a big gap there, but I don't see where else it could go. I can't, unless, no. You can't push this blue thing further through. It bottoms out against this piece. Alright, so you can put this on either arm, right? It's in the forearm, at least at that angle, it's touching the ground. So maybe the shoulder would, oh, see, this is stupid. The shoulder, I see, that is the same shape as these blue things. And if you look at this image, I believe these they can obviously go here. So let me find the correct side. So that'll cover up the hole in the shoulder, which is nice, but it leaves a big hole in the shield, which is not nice. So I feel like this is missing parts if you want to have a nice clean look to it. Alright, so now you have to look at these two shapes. And these shapes are totally mismatched. So this is not good. It looks kind of better like that, but guess you could put that in horizontally like that. Alright, so this gun here, it's got an optic. It's a shiny gunmetal color, but it's got this giant peg on it. So you could either put it into the hand, but then you have just a gun with a giant peg sticking out the side, and that looks kind of amateur to me. I guess you can also put it in here, maybe. Might be too big for that hole. It's not meant to go into this hole. But I guess it maybe is meant to go into the back. Yeah, so it goes into the back. So unfortunately, this is riddled with holes. You know, you still have the holes down here, and no parts are meant to fit in that with this thing. There's also a peg hole there. So 1, 2, 3, I have 4, 5, 6, 7 open holes visible. So I think this is not very good. If it was for the standard price, then it's fine. But I'm being critical because I paid an inflated price. Ah, boy. You know, it's nice that it has all this extra stuff going on with the shield. So take what you will from that. It's not perfect. If you have a hard time standing it, that's why they give you the good stand. So let's try to get this over the foot, because I don't think it is going to stand on its own. Alright, now we have no problem. So I apologize for the background noise. It's been going on for several days straight. There's a big party here going on where I live, and the windows are actually closed. They just don't care about noise pollution. The sound is just getting through a double pane window right now. Alright, let's get this Rick Dias thing here. So the secret chase color is this black version, and it doesn't have the extra. Oh, it did have the 2 pistols. I didn't realize you could put the pistols in when I reviewed that one. Alright, so this is an Exia number 04 in the Converge lineup. This is number 27, which is an age 1 normal version. And then the last one is Double Zeta number 69 in the Converge series. So let's just get all those up there. I find most Gundams look identical, very similar, you know. They just have these V antennas, and they're usually white and blue, and apparently yellow. Those are the common colors amongst all 4 of these. But the enemy, or the bad robots, these Zeonic ones, I really like them more. Alright, well, they're all generally the same size. Actually, the stand kind of throws that off, but boy, for this one, no problems with this. You know, that's just your standard Converge. I guess this has a lot of extra parts, which is nice, but if you don't have all the parts to cover up the holes, it kind of looks bad. I feel like maybe they should make a different mold. They're milking this mold too much, I think, even though this is the very first release, because it just looks weird. You know, if you're not going to give enough parts to cover up all these holes, I don't think it's good. It'd be better off to just not have the holes, and then you come out with a different version in the future, so people will want to have, you know, more, but they look different. What do you guys think? Anywho, nope, wrong color. That is it for today. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next Converge video.